Back to Michigan, where protecting the former president and rally-goers is top of mind at today's event. Secret Service ramping up security as the investigation of the assassination attempt intensifies. Former FBI special agent and Fox News contributor Nicole Parker on what agents are likely doing right now to prepare for this event tonight. It's at 5 o'clock in Michigan. Nicole, it's great to have you. And in some ways, it seems an indoor event might be easier or not present the same challenges as an outdoor event, but that doesn't mean that it's completely a slam dunk. How soon in advance did they have to start to sweep this venue to make sure that it's completely safe before they even start to let people in?
Jackie, those are all extremely important points that you're making. First of all, it is an indoor venue, so that doesn't make it a little bit, more manageable, but every single venue always has potential vulnerabilities and must be treated with the highest level of, there's intricate details that cannot go unnoticed. And so for this event, because it is indoors, I understand that there has been an event at this venue in the past in 2019. Local, state, and federal law enforcement have worked together on this event in the past and are again today. Obviously, Secret Service, they are the lead agency. They always will be the lead agency. And what happened last Saturday, well, I thought the locals were doing it. Well, we thought that you were doing it. That is entirely unacceptable. And I do not foresee that that will happen today. I think what's important to remember, there's a sweep that occurs, obviously within 12 hours of when the event is occurring. That venue is being swept up and down, upside down, inside out. There will be no stone unturned, and I guarantee that. But that's how every single event and every venue should be treated every single time. Obviously the Secret Service knows that all eyes are on this because of what occurred last week. But as a law enforcement officer, there is no room for error ever. Sloppiness, complacency, negligence. It is unacceptable. It is not okay. And every single detail must be attended to. Yeah. President Trump deserves that. And Americans deserve that.
Of course, he does. And the rally-goers deserve it as well, Nicole. I want to ask you about hiding things because of these reports that the gunman in Butler, Pennsylvania, might have been able to hide the weapon before the attack and might have even had access to that area, flying a drone, surveying. How does the Secret Service sort of, in this 2.0 post-assassination attempt world that we live in, how do they make sure that these venues are completely safe weeks in advance? Because some of this planning and preparation could take some time by these individuals.
Absolutely. We know that this event that occurred in Butler, Pennsylvania, that was first, the public was notified again about it in July 3rd is when they were first made aware that this rally was going to occur. So this shooter that did this last weekend, he didn't just wake up,
Right.
July 13th and say, I'm going to do this. There was a lot of planning and preparation that went into it. Again, sweeping an outdoor venue can be a lot more difficult. But again, it has to be done. Anything that's within, the range of sight, it must be swept. And so Secret Service, they are prepping weeks in advance. It's not like this occurs the day of, a couple of days before. It is a mighty effort, but I guarantee that today things will go down flawlessly. All eyes are on them. And my accolades go out to the rank and file agents. I do believe that this is an absolute failure of upper level management. And those that are on the ground, it is a reminder your job is so important and there is no room for error. 0% error is acceptable.
And I've got about 30 seconds.
That's all you can have is no errors.
But the director of the Secret Service has been pretty silent on this issue, not talking, for example, about how to protect this venue or ramping things up today. What would you have wanted to hear from her?
Well, obviously, law enforcement, a lot of information is protected because they don't want everyone to know about their methods. But in light of what occurred last week, the Secret Service director, in my opinion, needs to resign. She should have been out there in front of the American public saying, this is what happened. I own this. These are the mistakes that were made. The fact that there's been little communication, in my opinion, is totally unacceptable, and she needs to resign.
We will hear from her on Monday. She is testifying on the Hill. Nicole, thank you so much. Great to see you.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.